excited to talk to you about your experience with breathwork. Wani is a part of the Money Magnet Breathwork experience. She's also gone to a couple of my live free events as well, and signed up right away after the first event. Can you tell me what that process was real quickly before you're like, I'm in?
My gosh, you know what? I just had such a profound experience. Literally for me, it was, you hear people talk about a fuck yes. For me, like it definitely was like a fuck yes. But my only concern was like, when would be the timing? Because I'm in Paris, and I think you're in Arizona, right?
Yep.
And when I do programs, I do them live. I don't do the
Yeah.
replays. And so
Yeah.
it's very important for me to actually make sure that I would be able to attend all of it live. So for me, it was just such a profound experience. So
beautiful. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about like the before, because my problem with breath work, and it was the same with me, is like, it's hard to describe what happens, right? And so what were your thoughts about breathwork before you had this experience?
Well, so I had done breath work before with my spiritual teacher like many, many years ago. And I always was just so resistant to it, right? And I honestly, I had no idea. Your husband's post shows up on my feed more than yours, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of like multitasking, like your little blurb came up about a free breath work. And I was like, you know what? Let's try this out. And I literally had plans on Friday night to go out and meet a friend of mine that I had to actually have a conversation with my French CPA who had to finalize like my French taxes, right? I literally like rearranged everything to attend to your session. I was late getting to meet up with my girlfriend, and I also like literally had the conversation with my French account CPA, like in the car, going over my numbers for the French business, right? So for me, and it just felt like it was something I actually needed to do. And I was like, you know what? It's the month of May. And I've always had really huge month of December because I always do things differently. Like I always have a theme, right? And for me, December is always doing things differently. And I have quite a huge
You're breaking up just a little bit. Hold on.
For the month of May, and I'm just calling like a lot of stuff. And my TED Talk is coming up. I've been moving, and I just want like something different. What I've been, what am I gonna get? What am I gonna lose, right? So I did it and freaking had my mind and my knees blown.
Yes,
literally.
Well, what made you like? What happened within you to say like I need to literally move my schedule?
Okay.
Like, what was that? Like, why? What were your thoughts of like, I have to be here? Like, why did you move your schedule? You could have easily like not gone.
It just spoke to me. Honestly, it was just, I'm a manifesting generator. When I just see something, it just speaks to me. I just do it, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm going to do this. And first of all, breath work it's work, number one.
Oh yeah.
But it's just so healing. And I haven't done it a long time, and I'm not disciplined enough to actually like sit there and breathe like for an hour, like I've been doing, like I have done in the past, right? Yeah. And so I was like, wow, she's doing this for free. Like, what a gift. Like, of course I'm going to show up, So for me, it was just more of, you're offering your energy. And I see how passionate you are. When I do see your posts, it's all about the breath work. I see when I see your comments, even I see your husband's and stuff more than you. And I was like, let me just try it out. And I was like, you know what? We could all, and I have had previous experience with it, but again, as a resistance to like, it's hard work. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Once you get into it, and it's just like, it's so beautiful because it's so unpredictable, the things you're doing and like what gets cleared. And honestly, like, I just feel like it's probably like the best for nervous system regulation. Because I see like so many people in the industry asking about this stuff. And I'm just like, honestly, I feel like if we just breathe, because when you're breathing deep, because we breathe so like shallowly, right? But when you breathe deeply, I mean, I've had 3 sessions with you now, and I'm just like, I'm a different woman. You know what I mean? And like, even like my body is even like calling for more to breathe deeper. And it's just like, I feel like I'm able to hold more in life. And it's just like, I'm on cloud 9 right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, yesterday in our session, you were at the end, you were talking about how one of the reasons why you had chosen to like kind of switch it up and do some breath work is because you were feeling like stuck and stagnant and whatnot. Can you describe what that was feeling like before and now where you're feeling now?
Yeah, so I have been feeling really stagnant in Paris, right? Part of it too is because I'm very anchored, like where I am in Paris. I love my apartment, the center of Paris. Like, whereas before I was like in an apartment that I absolutely hated. So every single day I was in a restaurant, like working from there, right? But I've become very anchored. And then, like, even with the whole COVID thing here, and I just felt like I needed to be some movement, right? And then actually, I just came back from Miami for a month where I just took off, right? And right before, I had an energy healing session with one of my clients, and she said, like, my energy was like a turtle where I was just like encased in the shell, and I needed just to get out. You know, when I went to Miami, it was like at the beach every day and like in this tropical balmy weather.
Yep.
That opened things up, and I was like, you know what? I want to continue that. I don't have the option of going to South Beach and swimming every day,
Right.
but what else can I actually do? And I'm like, and so the breath work, it just made me realize, of course, like you've done it before, like many, many years ago, and how powerful it is. And so, yeah, I wanted to clear out the stuck energy. You know what I mean? It's like, which I've been feeling. I do feel myself stuck, like was just feeling stagnant. It's like things were popping, but I know they can be like, now they are, they can be like, you know, like fireworks, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it's like, yeah, I did feel a little bit like sluggish.
Yeah. And so now what are you feeling?
I feel like, oh my God, I feel like there's a freaking rock, like a fire under my ass. I swear to you, first of all, I feel so good, right? And so I really feel in tune with my body. And I've been actually really working on my own feminine energy, right? Because I'm actually part of a documentary, and a part of it's about manifestation. And it's like, and what I've been getting about to manifest, what I'm trying to do for this documentary is that I need to tap into my feminine energy more, right? So I've been listening to a dating coach, which I'm thinking about investing in and things like that. And it's just what I've been reading online, it just all seems just so contrived.
Yeah.
But leaning back, and I'm just like, and so what's been coming up with each session is like, I feel my feminine energy.
Mm.
It's with men, it's me, it's as me. I feel really lit up inside, and it's not about me, anything external. It's not about the perfume I'm wearing. It's not about the candles or whatever. It's just like this vibe of just like feeling like the me. And it's just like, it's really hard to describe, but it's just like, I feel lit up. I feel open. I just feel like I'm in my body. Like I'm, you know, I feel like gunk has been removed. Like I
Mm.
was saying to you, I've only been eating like once a day now.
Yeah.
I'm not wanting to eat, you know, I'm not a big eater, but it's just like, you know, I don't like grazing, for example, like, you know,
Yeah.
just like snacking. I'm not doing that anymore. And it's just all the things just like falling away within 3 days.
It's incredible. It's so incredible. And I love that you made that distinction between, okay, so one of the things that you're working on is working on your feminine energy. And you've been like looking at coaches and, okay, these are the things that you need to do. You need to lean back. You need to have candles. You need to have perfume. You need to feel good. And you're realizing through using breath work and deeply connecting to your body that that's all inside. Like you don't need anything else to access your feminine side and
Yeah.
that piece of you, because it's already inside, and breath work helps you access that.
Exactly, exactly. And I feel like everything that I'm reading about, what I've been hearing, it's something that's outside of you, and you're having to be this character. And I'm just looking at these women, I'm like, that's not really who you are.
Mm.
That's what you're selling online. But if you pull back the curtains, like you're not gonna be like, that's like, no, that's not who you are. You can just see that, you know what I mean? And so for me, it's just like, wow, this thing is actually within you. And it's like, it's you. And it's just been this automatic of, okay, and I get that I'm very much in my masculine energy. I'm an attorney. I've been this for like freaking 20 years in business and money law, right? I've been a business owner for such a long time. And I'm always in like that boss mode, right? And so for me to switch into unless I'm with an Italian man who just automatically just kind of puts a woman her feminine energy because like just sit and look pretty, it's really difficult for me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
And so now I just feel like it's just automatic, and it's like I'm in this all the time now. Like since like, you know, this whole weekend, I'm just like, this is next level. That's why I was saying to you, like I'm actually considering doing it every single day.
Oh my gosh. What do you imagine? Like, what's making you consider that? Like, what do you imagine could happen after doing this every single day for 30 days, say for May?
Well, first of all, as a manifesting generator, like I'm just like obsessive, right? If
I love it.
something's
I'm the same.
working, I'm just all over it. And I'm like all about the pleasure in terms of like feeling good. Like I spend money on massages, like reflexology, acupuncture, like those things for well-being. And I'm just like, for me, it's like a challenge as well. So I'm like, what if I did this every single day? If I feel like this, I mean, day one, let's get back to the big miracle, which was
Yep.
10 years, ever since I've been in Paris, my knee just started to hurt, right? I was in the middle of a Zumba class and I just made a turn and boom, there was it. I've been to French doctors. I've been to the American hospital in Paris, which is like super expensive. I've had, what is it? Chiropractor, not chiropractor, just like all these like different things I've gone on paper. My knee looks perfect. They can't figure out what's wrong. And then like after the first session, my knee just actually like popped in the sense to where like I'm able to like lean it back. And it's like I was learning how to walk again. And it was like a whole new body that I just kind of entered into, right?
Mm,
Now I will admit it's a little bit sore like a couple days after,
sure.
but I realize it's like it's all the fear, whatever's been like holding me back, it's just kind of being released. And it's like it's a brand new because the intention was a breakthrough,
Yeah.
right? And stepping into our full power. And so it's like, wow, this is exactly what's actually happening. So it's like, I mean, I had the incredible miracle after like 10 years. I mean, I have not been able to, I don't wear heels anymore. When I use the stairs, I have to like, like hold on to like to the
Yeah.
rail because I have to be really careful with my knees. I only do Bikram yoga. Like I don't do Zumba anymore. I don't run anymore because of my knees. And it's like that for 10 years. I swear to God, it's mind-boggling.
And I just think that that's such a powerful testimony because you went to all the doctors, you had the x-rays, the MRIs, like there was nothing physically wrong. And yet there was something wrong, right? Like something was holding, like was like, I think about these energy, I don't know if you've read the book, The Energy Codes, but they talk about these pockets of energy that get stuck in our body that can be as big as like basketballs, right? Like that much energy stored in a place that can cause pain, that can cause, like trauma or like you can't walk or all those things, right? And through the breath, and I want to just distinguish what our intention was for that session was I stand in my power. And I didn't tell you a little bit, maybe I did, I can't remember, but I was pulled. I've never used that intention in a breathwork session before, not even on my individuals or in groups. I had like 3 or 4 intentions of like, oh, maybe this one, maybe this one. That one was like, you have to use this one. And so I was like, okay, I listened to my intuition and I stand in my power, and you are now literally standing taller and stronger in your power, in your feminine power, in your body power. I mean, that is just incredible. It's just so incredible what the power of breathing is. Like, that's what we did. We just breathed in a different way.
Yeah. But more than anything too, though, like what I love, like at the end of each session is that it's just like this time that I give myself. And I was like, wow, like what a tremendous gift this is to just sit here and to just breathe. And it's like with no agenda, like just no, like attached to any outcome, just purely surrendering to the breath and seeing like what comes up and allowing the body. Cause I was like, I mean, when we first started, like I'm always like doing my head like this, my face. Then like the last 10 minutes, I mean, like on my chest like that. And it's like, then I start to dance like the last 10 minutes of it. And I was like, wow. And it was like, this is what my body needs more than anything. It's the movement, it's the breath. And so I was like, this is, like I wrote to you last night. I mean, like you're literally like a plot twist for me for 2022 right now.
I love that. I just like literally changed the trajectory with breathwork.
Plot twist.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. So much. So what would you want to say? So to Wani a week ago, what would you say to her about what's happened for you? Like if she was like, oh, maybe there was Wani over there. It was like, oh no, I don't need to move my schedule. I'll just go to her. Maybe she'll do it next one. Maybe she'll do it next month. Maybe she'll do it. And maybe I'll show up. And what if she was thinking that? And what would you say to her?
I would say, trust the obscureness, trust the weirdness, because when I look at the kaleidoscope of my life, even like me living in Paris right now, this was never on my trajectory. Just like how last Friday, you were never on my trajectory to do a breath work session, right? But I just saw and I just like went for it, right? And every time I've actually have done that, amazing things has actually happened to my life. Like right now, like where I'm just like, oh my God. Like even like after last night's session, like I journaled for like 10 pages. I was getting like so many downloads and it was just like, I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything, but it was such a beautiful moment to be with myself. And I was like, when was the last time I've ever just like sat here with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, no matter what I was thinking that I needed to do, none of it really mattered. None of it mattered. So I would tell her to trust the weirdness works for us, not following the mainstream, what everybody else is doing, or, which I've never been part of, always works for me, always works for me. And so now it's like, you know what? My main thing is breath work right now.
I love it. I love it. And I know that obviously like we know each other, but like what made you choose to do it with me?
Well, first of all, you're the only person online that I see actually talking about it. So first of all, kudos to you. Like you literally have like the monopoly on that. Also, you just have such a beautiful energy. I mean, like your whole family and like your husband, your 3 kids, and you can just look at y'all. It's like a big ball of sunshine. So, it's your energy. It's very pure. You know what I mean? You have such a pure heart and you're a great facilitator as well too. So, and it's just, you can tell that for years, it's all about it's pure love for you. It's pure it's pure passion. It's your business, but at the same time, it's like, no, there's a heart that's really behind that. So you make it quite easy.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. I just want to have some gratitude for that because that really means a lot. That really means so much. And I want to, pull out a little bit there is that like, there really isn't a lot of people talking about this. Obviously I was in a breathwork certification with 150 other people, but I'm pretty visible. Like I show up and I'm here and I know that there's no one really doing this on money. I know that I'm going to have other programs that are coming out that like, I see no one doing this. And so I find that this is such a powerful place to be in the industry because it's like, from what you're saying, like it's really needed. Like people need to feel this, right? Yeah. People need to feel this. And I had a question. What was coming through me just there? I know what my question was. So you were saying earlier about this being one of the best tools for nervous system regulation. So what did you do in the past for that? Like what were you doing before you now have committed to breathwork being the thing?
So what I can tell you, I do a lot of EFT, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I do quite a bit of that, number one. And then number two, I do a breathing technique, which is like breathing through the teeth and then throughout the nose. Mm-hmm. And it kind of clear some energy, right? But that's like the lazy breath work that I know how to do.
Yeah.
And so for me, for me, it was like an instant shift. When you do like that level of extended intentional breathing, it's the instant shift of everything you feel. And I've also noticed like where, we all we're dealing with, fight or flight, and, some level of the nervous system or the subconscious thinking like it's in danger. And you just instantly feel like a calm, I think it's like the parasympathetic nervous system or, that part of it, you just feel like an immediate calming down of it, right? And for me, it's the best because I see like the industry has trends, right? I mean, a couple of months ago or a year ago, it was like all about human design, right? Now it's all about nervous system regulation. Everyone's asking questions about that, right? And I just personally feel like the breath, like I'm just going back to when I was doing this on a regular basis with my spiritual teacher and I was doing retreats in Miami, we always like lay down and would breathe for an hour. And then nobody wanted to do it, but it was like, when you have kids, it's like when your kid is sick or when we were sick when we were little, it's like the bitter medicine, like you don't want to take it, but it's exactly what you need. Right? Mm-hmm. To me, that's what breath work is. But then once you really it's really the mind. For me, for what I find is like the mind that trips you up, like, oh my God, 30 minutes. Like, are you kidding? But then once you just get into the rhythm of it, and it's just like, because I can talk, whenever you say, we only have a few minutes left, I'm like, oh my God, it's almost over. Like, no, keep going. And then my body still keeps breathing, even when you say, okay, you can journal, you can,
Yep.
if anybody wants to share, like I'm still breathing in the rhythm. So it's like the body, we need that.
Yeah. Yeah. When I did a session with Stratton one time, actually his first session ever, I breathed him, and it was like the most beautiful, crazy experience that he had. And like a couple minutes later, or like maybe like 10, 15 minutes later, we were just talking about it, and he did the breath, like, and then he was like, he had this like body reaction to like feeling home when he like, and after that was like one session, he was like, I just felt so at home with my breath. Like, and he's never felt that before,
Yes, that's a perfect way to describe how I'm feeling right now. I feel at home. I feel at home. I feel in my body. I feel like I'm connected to my body. He's exactly it. You feel at home. I do feel at home.
You know what? As you talk about EFT, I've had a lot of clients actually do EFT while we're doing breath work too. So that's actually something that I've thought about of learning more about to maybe guide as well. But that's also an amazing thing. If you're in a breathwork session, if you're in one of our sessions and like you feel guided to like do that, I invite you to do that, because I've had a lot of clients do that, and I can like hear what they're saying when I'm one-on-one with people. I can like hear what they're saying. It's really fun. Oh, so beautiful. And, one of the things that I want to talk about really briefly too, is you mentioned the end of the session, and when you just feel this beautiful gratitude for yourself. That is one of the biggest pieces of why I do what I do, because we move so fast, and we're have our to-do lists, and we've got to show up, we got to go live, we got to launch our thing, we've got to do these things. And we don't take the time to just be super internal and give ourselves this time and space, even when it's work, like breath work, right? Like being able to feel, one of the things that both Stratton and I talk about, because I'm still resistant to it. Yeah. I'm a facilitator. I know what happens. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's too much work. Oh my gosh. And so what we do is we actually tap into that space at the end when you're laying down afterwards, and just feeling that intense gratitude for taking that time. And that always makes us do it. Like, okay, I want that feeling.
Exactly. It puts you in this like deep state of gratitude. And it's just like non-circumstantial gratitude. Like I slept like a baby, last night. I woke up this morning, I went walking, because when I wake up, I go walking. First of all, I stopped snoozing, because I was always like snoozing, right? And it was like, I get up and I just like get out of bed because I'm rested, you know what I mean? And it's just, and I've been so just on a high, not because anything great happened to me today. It's just like, this is what my life is now. And it's just like, from a feeling level, it's like next level. And I'm just like, wow, like this is how I feel right now. And it's not because something happened because I'm a man, or because, I made money or whatever. I'm just like, imagine like when all the others, like when those things come in or whatever I'm asking, I'm trying to manifest, but it's just like how I just feel really good, like extremely good.
And that's the energy of manifestation, right? Is like not waiting for the external to show up to make you feel the feelings. It's actually putting yourself into the feelings first, to then raise your vibration to like, all right, give me all the stuff that's going to like only enhance this. And you did that yourself.
Well, with your help. I mean, I would not be doing this without you. Trust me.
Well, that's one of the questions, because I have a lot of people that say like, oh, can I just do this on my own? Right? Like, can I do this on myself? So can you tell me, or tell the people, what it's like having someone hold the space with you and for you versus doing it on your own?
It's extremely powerful. You know what I mean? It's just like there's nothing that can replace like that presence and the intention of actually having somebody there who's actually is actually trained to do it. Because here's the thing, the mind, first of all, it's hard work. Okay, people, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you and act
Nope.
like, okay, it's like going to the park, right? Because it's not. Your mind doesn't actually want to do it. So you need someone there that's actually telling you, keep going, go deeper, because at any moment you can quit. Because I mean, you're not used to breathing like that deeply for, for such a long time, or even with intention,
Right.
and so it's like, you can try, but it's really, really difficult. And I mean, I have never um successfully tried to do like a long intentional breathing like that on my own, even though I've had recordings from my
Yeah.
teacher, and it's the willpower just quite isn't there,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
It's almost like we're teaming up in your experience.
Yeah.
Kind of what it feels like.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then it's also great to just share, you know what I mean? I also I love the ending part too, just like sharing with you, and I had listened to other people's experiences and what they were feeling, because it's different for everybody. I mean, the first session, like I went through like the whole, really like, wanting to like massage my scalp, to slapping my face, to my chest, to the dance, and to almost like having an orgasm. It's like just from breathing.
Yep. And what's
And
incredible is like, then someone else on the same call had said like they felt paralyzed and they just were like in their body and they couldn't move at the same time. And you're like moving all over the place. And I think, and that's, the shares are some of my most favorite things, obviously, because a lot of the times when I'm facilitating, I'll have intuition hits. I can like deeply connect to each of my people. And so I'll have
Mhm.
thoughts of like what I think is going on or what I feel is going on. And so when the shares come, I'm like, yes, we were connected. Like I felt that too. I felt that shift, or I felt that thought. And so to hear about your experience, I get so much joy. And even from the
Aw.
experiences of like people being like, okay, I don't know what happened right there, but nothing happened, or that felt terrible. And I'm like, yes, that means you needed to feel that. And we need to feel the
Yeah.
feelings, right? So it just makes me
Yeah.
you go ahead.
Now I was gonna say too, like exactly, and I was gonna say it's not that nothing's ever happening. It's like I think part of it too is like we have expectations like
Yep.
coming to a breathwork session, especially when you have a profound experience. I can tell you my first ever breathwork session, Jesus Christ appeared to me. Like literally, I was laying on the ground and he just came up to me. And from that moment on, I've never seen Jesus as how he's been portrayed, as how religion is taught it. I have a different relationship with this character called Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell you ever since then, and like I was like contorted my body. And then part of my resistance was I wanted to have that phenomenal experience again too. But I also realized too, even because the second time we did it, it wasn't quite as profound with you, but it was like I could find like later on, I could feel different things coming through that were
Yep.
being let go of,
Yep.
like a little bit of a memory. I just like I feel very like limber, just more like not so tight, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm like, wow, like I've been moving a lot of energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
And
moved
that's
a lot of energy.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I always talk about is no matter what, if you're breathing, something is happening and your brain might not be on board yet, but it will get on board as you begin to notice, oh, whoa, I've been feeling this way since the breathwork session. And I wouldn't have put the two together, but now my brain's like, oh, but no, you did that thing the other day that was really hard, even though it didn't feel like anything happened. All these things, like you're changing on a cellular level, right?
Right.
Like, do you feel
Yeah.
that way that you're changing? Like
I
you're,
do. I do. And I feel like honestly, it's not that, it's not to bash other modalities, because I truly believe, in this economy of the universe, there's something there for everybody.
yeah,
But I can tell you for me, I am more interested in, teachers or professionals that are just from pure standpoint. And for me, like this is like a mega cleaner. Like you know what I mean? Because it gets on all single levels. And what I love about it too is like at least for me, like there's just no attachment. Like I don't always have an intention. It's like I just I just surrender to the practice and whatever needs to flow through me or flow from me. Like I mean, sometimes I think yesterday I actually like coughed and I had to spit because my throat chakra like needed to be cleared, right?
yep.
And it's just like, and you just feel incredibly different in like everything, everything.
Like literally changing from the inside out. Like I love that so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like to bash other, I think there is absolutely a modality for everyone. There's a modality, like like I was just talking, EFT can be brought into breath work. Like there's so many ways that we can do it. But for me, I mean, even like, I love journaling and I love all that kind of stuff, but like, just like you said before, what was the actual word you said? It was like this instant shift. It's not like journaling for, a topic for 10 pages. Like you can, I mean, I think the journaling after a breathwork session would be way different than the journaling before a breathwork session. Right. Because
Absolutely.
the stuff that's in, can you share what kind of downloads were you getting after the breathwork?
I mean, like I wrote for sure, because I am a journaler. I'm one of these people, like I have like 40 or over almost like 50 journals in my apartment here. And there's some in my mom's house because I did the whole morning pages when I wake up in the morning. And I also, all of my insights and downloads, and I've written my books that way, it comes from me in the morning. But after the breath work, it's so much deeper. It's like literally like your soul talking to you. And it's not this like surface level conversation. And then I just kept writing. And then I just was just, not forced, but just wanting to not move and just sitting there. And like one thing that actually came to me was, I already make 5-figure months. Why not? And I've had a couple of 5-figure days. It's like, why not make this every single day? And so I was just having to sit there, what that would actually feel like. And, there's a big difference between visualizing something in your bank account versus like really sitting like that coming to you from within you and inviting you to actually to embrace that and to feel that. And so that's why I was sitting there feeling, wow, it's like if I was actually making $10,000 every single day, like this life would be next level, like phenomenal, right? And I was just thinking about all the things I could do. And I can tell you at that point, because there is a part of fear that there's a fear of me of making tons of money, right? And I'm working through all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like at that point when in that state of after the breath work where I'm showing my mind, it's like, wow, you know what? I can, rebuild my father's house in Africa. I can, tell my parents to retire. And it's like the mind is more susceptible to accept and say, oh, okay, yeah, there's nothing wrong with becoming a millionaire. You know what I mean? Whereas before it's like, holy fuck, like, no, we don't want that.
Wow. That's a big shift.
Yeah. And so it was interesting because I'm in your class or in the group. And so it's about breathwork with money. And it was like, yeah, I was sitting there and it was like these downloads about money that was actually coming up. Like, so for example, I'm actually working to call on like, $50,000 or 50K months, right? And so it's like, okay, the insight was coming up with my 50,000 consulting offer, you know what I mean? And to present that to companies, here, and so just sitting with that, you know what I mean? But not from a mind space, but from a inner space. This is what I want to share with you. Like, I was and I still am like in this feminine energy, and I could just feel that visceral beingness, like leading, and like the boy part of me, or the masculine side of me, like taking a back seat, right? And so I was actually feeling like, oh wow, so this is what it really means to be in your feminine energy, to be leading with your feminine energy, to be creating from your feminine energy. And so that's what was actually happened to me yesterday. And so that's why I actually couldn't move, because I was like, wow, I've never been living like this before. I've never moved in the world like this before, And of course I was just like, okay, can I actually like get up and move and like wash the dishes in this thing?
Let's see how far I can push these edges.
And then I had to go wash. I have a wash and dryer here, but I usually in Paris we just kind of hang our clothes out. But I had washed my sheets, and so I want to take it to the dryer. So I use my dryer here. And I remember like taking my clothes out and just wondering, can I still do this in a feminine, like feeling this energy? And I was like, oh yeah, this is actually who I am. Like, this is me.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome. So when I came back, I sat on my bed and I was like on my couch and I was like, oh yeah, it's sticking. Like, it's not going anywhere.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. It's sticking. It's sticking.
And
Well,
it's stuck. I'm still in this energy today. You know what I mean? Like I've made my post, from a doing perspective, but it still has been from a place within me of this new, like your husband says, feeling within home. And it just is a different way of moving through life. And I'm like, I like this.
well, I think you made just like such a beautiful distinction when we were talking about the journaling, but now talking about this as well, is it's moving from your head space and like what your mind is saying. You were talking about in terms of big money months, like what your head says about them, the fears that comes up, and it's moving to the soul space, the inward space, and saying, we can feel these ways, we can live this way. Like journaling before about big money months, your mind's like, blah. And after breath work, your body's like, yes. Like it's your body is coded. Like I talk about this all the time. Like your body is coded for your wealth blueprint, right? Like your body knows, right? But your mind is like, wah. And sometimes your nervous system is wired for the roller coaster and the scarcity and stuff. And so we've got to rewire that from within. We can't do that with our mind. And so we get out of our mind and into our body, and you begin to change that at a cellular level. And you just said it. It just is who I am. Versus like, let's see, like, when's it going to stop? Because your mind is saying it's going to stop. There's an upper limit. Have you ever read the book, The Big Leap, how he talks about the upper limit?
I haven't. This is the second time it's come up. I should probably read this book.
It's really, I mean, the concept is just so simple. It's like, we all have this upper limit of how good we can feel, about how big we can be. And we hit that upper limit and then we sabotage it, or something happens, or we go stub our toe and like, you know what I mean? Like get out of the feeling state, versus like really tapping in to this just being who I am and living it, and not having to fear when am I going to fall out of this, or like when's the shoe going to drop, or when's something going to happen. It's just having that trust in yourself of like, this is who I am. Just like you said, I just felt like I got chills when you said that.
Yeah. So I'm still in it. It's still stuck.
It's stuck. It's good. And it's a good step versus the stuck that you were feeling before.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's like, you know what? One of my favorite quotes that I live by is like, you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking like, wow, I've been like in this body and I've never really felt like this before. I'm like, this is incredible. It's like, and you don't really know any better, or you don't really know, because it's like, you think these like heaviness and tar and whatever stories that's created all of that stuck energy in my knee. It's like, it's actually you. It's like, no, it's not. And then like the breath work just like freaking like just bulldozes that thing like all the way through it. It's like another being, but it's like the real you really emerges. And you realize like this has been like a character. It is a character suit, but it's just like it's layered with so much like gunk. And yeah, I'm a fan.
Oh,
I'm
so
totally
good.
a fan.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Like, oh, that would just give me like full body chills. So what would you say to someone maybe who's never done breath work before and is maybe like, I don't know. Oh, I like what you're saying, but I've never done breath work before. I'm considering, doing breath work with you, Alessandra. I don't know. Like, what would you say to them about the breath work experience? And you can say it with me too.
It'll absolutely change your life instantly. Like, for me, I think it's the best healing modality out there for what, it doesn't matter whatever you're going through. I would say just do it, like literally do it. And I know for a fact that, it adds, by breathing deeply, you add more years to your life and more health and vitality to yourself. But it'll literally change your life. Like literally, it literally has changed. Literally after one session of an unplanned session that I didn't know you were going to do it. My knees for 10 years, like unlocked itself and unkinked itself. And it's like, whoa. What a miracle that was. That's why when you made the post and I was like, girlfriend, like we're going to do like a video testimonial and talk about this and give it like a proper testimonial.
I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for you, because I wouldn't, I'm so bad at I was just telling Stratton about it. I'm like, I'm so bad at doing testimonials. And you were like that. I'm like, okay, let's do it. It's okay. So another question, and I know this one's obvious, but I want to ask it, is like, how do you see your life going now forward, creating breathwork as a habit, like incorporating breathwork as a habit in your life? Like, how do you see your life trajectory and your movement?
First of all, I feel like I've actually have shifted timelines after these 3 sessions with you and my commitment to actually do this, do this with you. And so in terms of the trajectory, I have no idea, but I'm super freaking excited.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know for a fact that I've actually, and I have had those, I have physically experienced myself physically like jumping timeless. I know what that actually is like. And I feel like this is such a new territory for me. I literally cannot even predict this to you. And I feel like if we had like a follow-up session like 6 months from now, I'm like, holy moly. Like, I feel like whatever that conversation would be like, it would have been nothing I was actually thinking about. In terms of incorporating breath work, like for me, it's part of my dailies now. Like, I mean, what I'm going to intend, at least for the month of May, which is a huge challenge, like I said, but you know what? For me, like when I experience something and it works and it's good for me, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
I'm all over it. I'm all over it. And I just, especially if it's like from a physical, a psychological, a mental, I'm already like a great person, like happy generally or whatever, but it's just like now I'm like next level. So.
Oh my gosh. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. This was one, a really fun conversation. And two, just so grateful you sharing your experience and telling everyone like how it is for you, the breakthroughs, the miracles, all the stuff. Like I'm so grateful for you to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I thank you so much. You really have given me like a gift, a treasure. And I really appreciate your heart and just your soul and what you're doing, and I'm just, God's thank you for like her, her post like showed up on my timeline for me to see that last Friday. And here I am, plot twist.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad too. I just had someone the other day, like come in and like 15 of my posts. And they're like, I'm sorry, I'm not stalking you. You just haven't been showing up on my timeline and I want to see your stuff. And I'm like, good. You told the algorithm I'm important. Thank you.
Well, I hope this helps you. So you know me, I will rave about you, and whoever I can recruit to, to come into your world and to receive this gift, I would definitely do that because, everybody should have this. Should be feeling this goodness. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I just appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you. All right. I stopped the live stream. Oh, that was so much fun. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I should have said this on the recording. Oh, I have it on the recording, but I'm putting it in my calendar from 6 months from now to like check it. I mean, I'm sure obviously we're going to be in each other's lives, but be like, okay, let's refer to this video and now see where you are.
I'll put it in my calendar too. So we're at May 4th, June, July, August, November. Oh my God, election day, November 4th. Okay. That's easy to remember. November 4th. So we'll see what happens.
So good. Yeah. I'm so great. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you.
Do you do this every single day?
What? Breathwork?
Like, do you do breathwork every single day?
I don't. I don't. I've challenged myself to do it, but then I talk myself out of it. And so I generally do it like 1 to 2 times a week, like a session. But I've wanted to challenge myself to do it every single day. I do integrative breath work. So like I have a YouTube channel that's starting, that I do like more integrative stuff that's still, breath work, but it's not the deep meditative breath work. So I do that daily throughout the day and stuff like that, but not this full sessions that I would love to.
Well, for like the ones I used to do in the past with my teacher, it was an hour, like literally an hour. Whereas yours is like, okay, half an hour. To me, like that's not like, to me that feels doable. But the hour-long ones, yeah, that's intense.
Yeah. And it's funny because I've been thinking about doing like one-off workshops and I'm like, ooh, what if we did it for an hour? Like, ooh, what if we did it for a little bit? I told Strad, I'm like, what if we did this for a whole day? We had 4 different sessions. And he goes, I think that's too much. Like, I think 1 session's enough. Just do 1. I'm like, okay. Well, because I think about like Joe Dispenza and his like meditation retreats where they meditate for like 10 hours a day. I'm like, what if we did breath work? He's like, I think people would go like nutso. Like it would be just insane. Be amazing. No, it's like everyone's doing drugs. Like that's what it is. Oh, all right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Anything you need, I'm here as well. Thank you for singing my praises. I really, it just feels so good.
My pleasure. Thank you. You make it easy. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All righty. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
You too. Bye-bye.